Good evening, and thank you for checking out the Out in Westchester podcast. This week we're coming to you from the Hudson Anchor at 222 Beekman Avenue in Sleepy Hollow, New York. Check out HudsonAnchorSeafood.com and follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Hudson Anchor. My name is Frank Pellegrino, and joined as always by my incredible co-host, Liz Wadolski.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you guys for being here. It's our pleasure.
Thank you for having us. We are very excited. We've got 3 guests, and 2 of them are owners of the place. So we have to be really respectful about what we say about the Hudson Anchor here.
No, you don't.
But first, to Liz's left, we have singer, songwriter, alt-country, indie folk artist Greg Jacquin. GregJacquinmusic.com.
Hi,
His
how are you?
album just came out a couple months ago, Clock Slowed Down. Please check that out on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify. He's got some dates. Got a lot of dates coming up,
Thank you.
especially here. Every Monday, there's an open mic here.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
right.
Hudson Anchor.
Every Monday they have the open mic at Hudson Anchor from 7 to 9 p.m.
Are you here for every single one?
I have been so far. I try to be as often as possible. I have a friend of mine, Greg Connors, who hosts in my absence, and plenty of other musicians available to host if necessary.
And then on Friday you're here as well, right?
And then on most Fridays they have singer-songwriter night here at Hudson Anchor. The next one is on September 27th here at Hudson Anchor with Ariel Eden and Andy Stack and myself. And those are 7 to 9 also on Friday nights. And they've been getting real popular, starting to have a lot of fun.
And then on September 28th, you'll be at Dudley's in New Rochelle. And then October 17th, the Green Growler in Croton.
Yeah, that's right. Both of those venues have started singer-songwriter showcases also. So there's anywhere from 10 to 20 musicians performing short sets at those, kind of showcasing the talent in the Hudson Valley, which is a really great night for the musicians and for the people.
And a couple people that have been really helpful with that, especially in Sleepy Hollow, 2 owners of Hudson Anchor. We have Molinda Kearns and Gary Serina here with us. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
So Hudson Anchor has been here for about 2 years now, almost 2 years, guys?
Going on 2 years.
Coming up on 2 years.
And I just learned that, Gary, you own the property, so you've seen a lot of places come and go. Sleepy Hollow is really a blossoming community right now, especially right here on the water.
Yes, sir. When they changed the name of North Tarrytown to Sleepy Hollow, the mayor at the time, Sean Tracy, he was telling everybody, if we change the name, build it, they'll come. And he was right, because here we are 15, whatever it is, years later, and Sleepy Hollow is the place to be in October.
So I guess I'm a little out of the history of it. This hasn't always been Sleepy Hollow.
It's been North Tarrytown.
For
I was born in North Tarrytown.
Yeah.
I grew up in North Tarrytown.
When did they change the name to Sleepy Hollow?
When or why?
When?
When?
Do you
I think
remember?
around 17 years ago.
And why?
Really?
They didn't want to be north of anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Was it known also as Sleepy Hollow?
No.
Affectionately? No?
No, it's North Tarrytown.
No,
So-
Sleepy Hollow comes from the literary.
Yeah.
The Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman.
Right.
And this year we're celebrating the bicentennial of Washington Irving's novel, and so that's where the name of the town comes from, is ultimately the novel.
Yeah.
So you're
Really?
telling me that the Headless Horseman did not run through North Tarrytown?
Oh, he sure did.
He sure did. Okay.
sure did.
That's what I'm trying to.
But-
Over the
sure
years,
did.
this town had many names. Beekman Town was one.
Really?
Beekman Avenue.
Okay.
Right.
I think there was another one, and then North Tarrytown, and now Sleepy Hollow. And it used to be North Tarrytown High School, which is right up the street. Still an active school, elementary school.
Which is where both Greg and Gary went to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the high school, when they built the big new high school, they named that Sleepy Hollow. And I think the Rockefeller family had a lot to do with the financial of that school, and with that financial came the name Sleepy Hollow that they wanted it to be in order for them to put out the money.
Wow.
Could be
Okay.
wrong.
I didn't know that at all. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I always thought it was the Gallo. I grew up in
That's,
Thornwood.
isn't that why we're here?
Yeah.
This is a lot. There are a lot of
Amazing.
legends here. A lot of legends
Yeah.
here, and this is the hollow gem. As Irving refers to in his novel, and Did the Headless Horseman travel and woo Katrina at that bar? Quite possible.
It is. So, Greg, you grew up in Tarrytown?
Yeah, I did, actually.
I had no idea.
I grew up in Tarrytown.
Wow.
I moved away for a few years, but then I came back. So Tarrytown's nice. It's got that small town feel still.
I just love it because it's by the water.
It's grown.
the
It's
Hudson
been,
River.
yeah,
And there's
that's,
so much development going on right now with the Toll Brothers over there. It's
So when
incredible.
we met Greg, it was a natural fit because one of the things, not only have they been here, most of their lives, actually their entire lives, and I'm a newcomer, and so it's kind of like that juxtaposition of really what Beekman Avenue and Sleepy Hollow really is that marriage of new and tradition. And when we met Greg, it was a natural fit to continue to support our local artists.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons why, Greg started coming here together with the ballads, I call them ballads that he sings of the Hudson River. And as our friendship grew, Greg ultimately has taken over the music scene here, so to speak, and
Yeah.
Happy to support that. It's been
Well,
great.
Your first album was called Hudson River.
yeah. Well, I've embraced the Hudson Valley and the Hudson River in my music in such a way that it's unavoidable. So
Right.
I've decided to just go with it, and Hudson Anchor has been a perfect fit, like Melinda said. And I'm always looking for new venues to perform at and to try to bring my music to and to my friends' music. But Hudson Anchor has just been one of the ones that has gone above and beyond
Right.
what normal venues do.
Now,
But you do a lot of singer-songwriters, like at Birdsall House, I remember.
Yeah.
Like, you played up in Peekskill quite a bit.
Yeah, I
You've done
played
some other
Birdsall.
venues.
Birdsall House was actually one of the first venues that allowed me to play originals
Okay.
in Westchester, which was nice. I can't wait to get back there.
Yeah.
And
are there many places? I mean, obviously we know Round Blacks and White Plains and Lucy's in Pleasantville and Birdsall and Peekskill. Are there many places in Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown area that are kind of embracing the local musician scene?
well, there really hasn't been. The Setback Inn traditionally has had cover bands
Yeah.
forever.
The Tap Room has
occasionally.
people too.
The Tap has recently had started to have music. J.P. Doyle's up the block has had music.
Right.
I think everyone's following the trend in the Hudson Valley
Right.
that started with 6 Degrees of Separation
Yeah,
in Ossining.
right. We started
and,
that.
and Scott, the owner, who was a huge supporter in music, and
Right.
kind of showed all the other restaurants in Westchester that it was safe to have original music and that
Right.
people would still come and still listen and still drink and eat. So it didn't have to be covers for
No,
3 hours.
I love
Right.
original music. I love your music.
Yeah, and it's fun to bring my friends, to be able to give my friends a venue to perform into. Because a lot of them had given up on Westchester
Sure, I know a lot
as
of
far
them
as
too.
performing.
Yeah.
I've met many of them because of Liz.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there's so many great musicians and talented people who are writing their own music, and it's
Absolutely.
great that a place like the Hudson Anchor can kind of follow suit with these others that are, putting their claim in and say, hey, no, we're embracing this
Yeah.
community here.
Well, there's bigger venues like in the Bowery Ballroom and Music Hall of Williamsburg that are having 3 or 4 original acts a night. They're filling it and they're selling tickets. There's no reason why Westchester and the smaller towns can't copy that in a smaller level. And I think it's starting to build a following, and people are starting to see that it's real. Because a lot of times you're not sure what you're going to get when you go out and see a local musician or performer, but there's really been a quality, blooming in Hudson Valley, which we're proud of.
We didn't even get a chance to talk to Greg about this, but Melinda and I were speaking last couple of nights. Since our Friday night music has been gradually taking off, we did it for 2 reasons: help support him and support ourselves. It's a win-win situation, and we're discussing having venues where a little bit later at night and having it a music night. Not just for the diners, but for the people who want to come and see Greg and the other bands. And
Right, because it depends on the singers themselves. Greg depends on who he selects to complement him on a certain night, ultimately complements the dining experience.
Right.
But there are a few that we are looking to schedule later on at night and to have a very different experience, like an after late night.
more to be revealed.
How late can you have music playing here in the area? Is there a curfew? Is it like a midnight? Is it a 2 a.m.?
What time will they call the police?
I like the way you think.
No, I don't think there is one. And you guys just recently had Alex Cano on your show, and I think he played here recently, and
Alex is great.
his full band would do great here on a later night, maybe
Right.
selling tickets
Right.
and having a bigger crowd.
Right.
You know what's great is that when the Toll Brothers property finally comes up,
Oh, this place is going to be
this is going to be
packed.
it. It's going to be,
This is
you're
it.
going to be bouncing
Absolutely,
forth
yeah.
between you guys and your neighbors
Yeah.
constantly.
From
Yeah,
your
it is
mouth to
already.
God's ears.
No,
They-
it's
they
very
already-
true. No, it's true.
It's good. It's good to have someone right next door. You know, that people, okay, go here for the music, they go here after, then vice versa.
That's right.
You have
So-
to have a variety a little bit, even
Yeah,
if you
and
love
it's
one
creating a
one
scene
place.
right in this neighborhood, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
This whole restaurant is a house, right?
Correct.
It's a whole house that
Yeah.
it's been in your family since 1952,
53, yes.
53. And what's great is there's downstairs with a bar with a seating area, and then you have a whole upstairs that has a whole patio that overlooks the Hudson
Oh,
and the
yeah,
lighthouse.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Well,
And you
yeah.
put the music upstairs, and sometimes even outside, you were saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for nights out, I think that's just, it's beautiful to see the Hudson and listen to music, and,
Yeah.
it's so romantic, and you come here on a date and get some food. How late is the restaurant, the kitchen open till?
We close when the last person leaves.
When the last person eats. That's great.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup or layout of the space, because you've got back here, which is an intimate, sort of below the sea kind of experience, and you've got the bar in the lower area, which we open the French doors, and then there's upstairs, outside, inside, and there's, if your mood changes, you move around, and it's a totally different experience in each of the spaces.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So
Okay, great.
40 years? 40 years you've owned the building.
53 would be
Well, more than that.
more than
over
that,
40 years.
66.
56 years.
Wow.
56
Well, when my father bought it,
years.
the bar was all the way down on the bottom level
Hmm.
against that other wall. Up here was a dining area, probably a little poker back here, kitchen was always there,
Uh-huh.
and it was only this one level. When I renovated in 2003, 2004, I added the second level when I had Lighthouse Coffee, and there's also an apartment in the attic, but adding that second floor made it a unique space.
Yeah.
Because the outside deck is extremely unique. The upstairs dining room we use for private events, whether it's music.
That's great.
We've done a number of different private parties. We did a wedding that last 2 weeks ago. We're doing another, what do you call it?
Person dinner.
No, when they take the whole restaurant.
Oh, yeah, it's a double level wedding.
They're taking over the restaurant,
Right.
and
So what's interesting about this building, the history of it, is when his father bought the building, they all worked at GM.
Which was across the street.
Right.
Which is now being developed into condos.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
right. And so this building served many of the GM employees, and Gary's mom was the one that cooked.
Right.
And he was also an artist and a former fire chief of
Correct.
then North Tarrytown. And all these paintings in our restaurant are Steve Serina, his father.
Your father
artwork.
did that?
my
All
father,
of them.
anything hanging in here, my
Yeah.
father painted. And most of them were
I
painted
didn't know that.
in here,
Yeah, at the bar.
Wow.
over there somewhere, so.
He was very talented.
Yeah.
They're great.
But back when my father opened this, and they bought this and opened in 1953, General Motors was in full swing of 3 shifts. You're talking anywhere between 4,000 and 6,000 people in and out of General Motors a day.
Yeah.
It was a huge assembly plant. I
Right.
showed Melinda some pictures the other day about what it used to look like across the street. It was massive.
Yeah.
It's 99 acres, and
Wow.
it employed a lot of people for a long time. So
So 2003, 2004, you did the renovations to the place.
correct.
And it was a cafe. Since then, how many businesses have been in and out of this building?
I had Lighthouse Cafe opened in August of 2006, and I sold it to Sunflower in 2008. She didn't last very long, about a year. Then I had to go up against City Hall to have the location liquor license approved. So that was a little bit of a struggle, having to do with the zoning, our neighbors, our commercial neighbor next door, and once I got the building approved for liquor, I then leased it to the Moon River Grill.
I think I remember that.
Right. A fellow by the name of Bob. He was connected to Tarrytown Boat Club and the cabin, and he did about 3 years here. His silent partner Manny took over, turned it into the
Rivers.
River Grill,
Wow.
and he lasted about 3 years. And Melinda and I, got to put our heads together and said, I'm just tired of, begging for my rent. And I figured if anybody else is going to owe me money, it's going to be me.
So is this your first restaurant venture?
Restaurant venture, yes.
So
Yes.
how has it been, kind of juggling both? Is it almost easier kind of having your hand in both things going on, or is it
Both, restaurant and
being a landlord, owning the building as well?
That's easy.
That's easy.
That's
Okay.
easy. Juggling a career union carpenter job,
Oh, okay.
juggling restaurant, same as Melinda, juggling, her career and restaurant is not easy. It's not easy at all, especially in the beginning. Eventually, we will be able to have a general manager, and we can actually step back and,
Right.
do a little less, and let
That'll
them
be
do a
good.
little more.
Right.
But right now, I'm day-to-day operations, Melinda's day-to-day operations. We each have our own, basically assigned tasks, what to do. She does everything having to do with the bar. I don't drink, I got no business talking about beer and wine, I manage and hire employees, work the floor,
So the biggest challenge when you were the landlord was getting the rent from your tenants. That's crazy.
I wish we could live in the Goodfellas days.
Yeah.
Fuck you, pay me.
What's the longest any of your tenants went without paying you?
6-8 months.
Oh my God. What recourse is there at that point? You
Yeah,
get to
what
6
do you
months, like
do?
how many months? I imagine
I've
1 or
got
2
shovels in
months
the
you're
backyard.
fine. Is
No.
that really the only recourse?
It's extremely hard for a landlord to collect their rent. You just can't come in and strong-arm somebody for their money. There's channels, court, I had to sue both of those tenants. I was awarded eviction and judgment, but if the tenant pays the judgment before the eviction, you can't evict them.
Right. It's
my
all
God.
wiped out.
Because it's
They're in
all
good
wiped,
standing
you're
at this
back in
point.
good standing.
Right.
And I won't lie, the way I had to get rid of my last tenant was not nice. I literally put plywood on every opening in the building,
Wow.
and he wouldn't get out.
Right.
He wouldn't get out.
That's
He
incredible.
wouldn't pay me, wouldn't get out,
Yeah.
Now the judgment, is that the equivalent to how much they owe you in rent plus, or is it almost like a half type of thing, like a down
Well,
payment?
one guy is still paying me out of his paycheck. The sheriff takes it out of his paycheck every month, and we get like a $78 check or something.
Oh my God.
And then it's not even the interest.
No interest on it.
No, what I get from him doesn't even cover the interest on the money he owes me.
Oh.
So, it's not easy being a landlord. It's
No, I
not.
can't imagine it.
It's not.
So seeing those restaurants, I guess 2 or 3 it sounded like, were you able to take notes so you could, you adjust and, 'cause this place is so beautiful,
Thank
and I've
you.
heard nothing but good things so far about it. Were you taking notes and saying, okay, this is how he screwed up this way, this is how they screwed up there, now I know going in, I can avoid those things because I've watched them make the mistakes.
Yes and no, because any business in the beginning, you're playing a shell game.
Yeah.
You're borrowing from Peter to pay Mary because Paul's broke, and you do what you got to do.
Right.
Melinda and I are co-owners, and every now and again there's weeks and months that we're still pulling out of our pocket, So, but it's part of doing business.
Right.
Was there any mistake that you witnessed them make that you watched, maybe it was 5, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and you thought to yourself, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, I watched owners sit at that bar doing nothing while everybody else was working. Melinda and I are knee deep in this restaurant every day. Whether we're on the phone doing stuff or on the floor. Melinda covers several shifts behind the bar a week, and I'm on the floor almost every night.
Right.
So one of us is always here while we're open.
It's nice that it's like,
Yeah.
small business, you're hands-on.
We're a mom and pop.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You
We're a
manage
mom and pop.
everything inside and out, make sure
Yeah.
everybody's okay and everybody's happy.
That makes a big difference because
Yeah.
it's top down.
Mhm.
When the owner is actually working and they're not sitting on their ass doing
Right.
nothing,
Right.
it really sets the trend for the rest of the staff. So they see the
100%.
owner or the general manager hustling, that motivates everyone else, the bartender, the server, the porter, the busboy, to also keep on hustling because, you can see the owner getting their hands dirty, you respect that a lot more. You see that, and that's the right way to do it,
And we've both, Melinda and I have both been in the dish pit. We've both been behind the stove. We've both done every job here.
That's good.
Clean
so.
more bathrooms in
Bathrooms.
this place
Yeah.
than I ever have in my
Fillet,
entire
filleting
life.
Bronzino, cleaning Bronzino. I mean, the show must go on. We've had, every now and again a chef gets the attitude, he walks out the back door. If you
Sure.
think I'm locking the
Happens.
door, I'm not locking the door.
Yeah.
We will cook and we have.
That's good.
You
That's
know.
really, really good.
So,
So, Melinda, you had mentioned to me something about the food. Can we talk a little bit about the food? It's mostly seafood,
Mostly
right?
seafood.
Is it mostly seafood?
seafood based. Yes.
Seafood based.
Yeah.
But you had said something that I've never heard before, which is unadulterated food.
So when I came into the
Sexual?
picture, yeah, right.
I've never heard that. Have you heard unadulterated
never heard
food
that.
before?
That just makes me think that the chef is naked.
Yeah.
Does he get a fair going on behind the bar? I don't
He's
know.
only wearing an apron.
That's
That's
a secret. His secret.
Yeah, that's right. That's the secret. There you go.
What can you give us a little bit of what that is?
So, as Gary said, we are not your traditional restaurateurs. We are now. We are, your full-fledged restaurateurs now. But I have a career in pharmaceutical sciences. So I once developed chemotherapy drugs. That's really
Wow.
what my background is, and now I'm a full-time professor of organic chemistry and genetics and all of those fun things at Concordia. So after a career in designing chemotherapy drugs, ultimately, where it's at in terms of health is, good food and good drink. And that's what I mean by unadulterated. So what you'll find here is our techniques and the ingredients. I have a zero tolerance policy for preservatives. There is almost absolutely nothing frozen here, except for shrimp. There, many times we can't get that. There's absolutely no high fructose corn syrup in anything we put here behind the bar,
It's
with the
amazing.
exception of soda, because we can't get that
Right.
without high fructose corn syrup, and ketchup. Unfortunately, we can move to organic, but it's not going to be a good business model if we go that way. So there are there are the few adulterated vices that we do and indulge our customers in. But yeah, that's what we try to do here.
Can somebody pay more for adulterated food? Like, what if they want that little extra preservative in MSG?
Hey,
Not here.
you're going to
Somewhere
pay
else.
me a copay down the line to make a drug for
That's
you, or
true.
do it here. Pick one.
Yeah.
Right? We're either going to do it with some great live music,
I honestly.
or we're going to do it in a doctor's office. Which
Right.
one is it going to be?
I love the idea, you guys. I love the motto. That's fantastic. That's
No
really
preservatives?
Good. That's amazing.
Fresh food.
Absolutely not. Even our ranch dressing, you want ranch dressing, we'll make it for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out of a bottle.
Oh my God.
That is the rule here.
That's amazing.
Honey mustard, we'll make honey mustard.
Well, I always think that all these crazy, cancer and all these diseases that everybody is going through is because our food is so processed.
Absolutely.
There was so many hormones jumped
Absolutely.
into meat and chicken, particularly chicken.
I gotta
that
ask.
I think everybody's getting sick and dying younger because there's too much processing to get the food out to us too fast.
Yeah.
Greg, I can imagine, performing at all different bars, restaurants, clubs, and venues. Have you
Yeah.
ever had any place with unadulterated? I imagine most of the food you've had in these bars and restaurants where you're performing, it's like overly processed, super fried, frozen for months.
To be honest with you, I noticed over the past 10 years or 5 years, there's been a lot more venues that are opening up with the organic food and the organic vibe and
Gluten-free.
caring about the food a little bit more, which is refreshing and welcoming because I happen to eat healthier and organic, and So
This is perfect for you.
Yeah, this is perfect
great.
for me. I
It
eat
smells
here.
so good in here right now. I know they're
Yeah,
cooking
I
for us.
smell it too.
The food is.
I get to
it
eat here a
smells so
couple times a
delicious.
week, so I can vouch for everything being delicious. So.
Greg's a huge fan of our fish and chips dish.
And the Brussels
Can't wait to
sprouts.
try it.
And the Brussels sprouts.
How do you do the Brussels sprouts?
Everything.
Yeah.
It's sautéed, and then you're gonna have it.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have
it with peanuts and toasted coconut.
And the fish isn't
And
fried? The fish and chips?
The fish and
is
chips is fried. Absolutely, you have to have a vice, right? I mean,
Oh,
you have
okay.
to-
okay. So there's a little adulterated going on.
Little adulteration. I never heard that term though, used for foods. That's cool. I'm gonna try and slide that in anytime I can when I'm at a restaurant.
Also with her drinks, Melinda uses all fruit juices, fresh
Natural
fruit
fruit
juices,
juices.
nothing out of the gun.
Melinda, do you have a restaurant history?
I do not.
You do not.
I do now.
Yeah.
I do now. I can no longer say I do not.
Wow.
Yes, but absolutely an incredible hospitality background because of my my culture and my vision when we opened this was what you see now. I wanted a little bit more than casual. I wanted people to enjoy life here. And this is, what we opened. We opened the doors and really were looking to enjoy and celebrate people's life experiences and life celebrations, and we've done that. It's so incredible when we do anniversary parties and the wedding we just did, and
Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's at least one or two anniversary night, birthday night. We've become that place.
yeah.
That's great. Because the upstairs is so nice with that deck and that patio
Yeah.
that you have out there.
But one of the things we wanted to do too was we've gotten away from going out and eating as a special event, right? I mean, it used to be back 20 years ago, going out was a treat.
Yeah.
And as a culture, we've sort of gotten away from that. And one of the things we wanted to do here was to keep it casual, but still have it be special. There is a tablecloth, but it doesn't mean that it's going to cost an arm and a leg. We just want it to be, a night out, just walk away from your own home and come into ours and have a special night out.
And that's true because you see this slow decline now of those fast casual restaurants, and places like this are what people prefer to go out to now.
Right.
You don't see Friendlies anymore. You don't see Charlie Brown's. You don't see any of these. You see places like
Yeah.
Applebee's and Fridays completely make over themselves multiple times over a few years. It's like people are getting away from that because it's adulterated food. And guys, we're coming to you from the Hudson Anchor, 222 Beekman Avenue in Sleepy Hollow, New York. Check them out, HudsonAnchorSeafood.com. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to try some Brussels sprouts and whatever else they have. We'll be right back and we'll talk about it all. Thank you.
Unadulterated.
Upstairs or downstairs?
By yourself?
That's not unadulterated.
Yes!
She's in a mood.
It must be that beer, batter, vodka, fish and chips.
Yeah. Guys, we are coming back to you from the Hudson Anchor, 222 Beekman Avenue, Sleepy Hollow, New York. HudsonAnchorSeafood.com, at Hudson Anchor on social media. Again, we are joined by oh my
Greg.
God, Greg
Jacquin.
Jacquin.
You were
Thank
too worried about the last name. That you messed up the first.
As well as Melinda and Gary, co-owners of the Hudson Anchor right here in Sleepy Hollow. Booming area, a lot of fun stuff happening. Thousands of people about to move in here. And we just had some of the best unadulterated food. The best unadulterated food I've ever had. It might be the only unadulterated
The
food I've ever had.
only unadulterated food we've ever had.
The scallops.
The burger.
Let's keep going back. Your turn.
The Brussels sprouts.
The burger.
Burger.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Fish and
Good
chips
answer.
were
Fish.
amazing.
Everything.
What
The
about
fish and chips. I'm sorry. Yes.
Fish and
The
chips were amazing.
I'm on the Brussels sprout kick
Oh,
at the
you are?
moment. I can't help it. Yeah, they're
We picked a couple of these things.
I have
Some
to
of these
say-
are Greg's favorites.
Oh.
exactly.
The food here is absolutely unbelievable.
It is.
Unadulterated food is probably the best food I've ever eaten.
Thank you.
In my
Very
life.
good. Yes.
Everybody needs to come to this
I
restaurant.
agree.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You need to come here. The scallops, unbelievable.
The tuna.
Wait, tell us
Tuna
about the
tacos?
burger, guys.
Yeah.
It's not just a regular burger.
No, it's not.
You were
Like
explaining
bison
the-
burger.
No, not bison.
No, it's
What
a
is it?
short rib.
Short rib burger, that's it.
Yeah.
Braised short rib.
Short rib is usually one of my go-tos when I go to a new restaurant. If the short rib is on there, I'm ordering short rib.
Right.
So I tasted it in there. It tastes incredible.
It's about a 50-50 mix.
Yep,
Yeah.
50-50 mix.
50-50 mix.
And the Brussels sprouts, I tasted honey, I tasted sriracha. What else was in that?
Toasted
Peanuts.
coconut,
Coconut.
peanuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love.
Love,
Ooh.
yes. Unadulterated
Lots of
love.
Lot of
Yeah,
love.
all our orders are made to order. There's nothing in there pre-done waiting for a customer to order.
So if somebody has a peanut allergy and they say, I want the Brussels sprouts, but I can't have any peanuts in
Absolutely.
there,
Absolutely.
you
Take
make
it out.
everything fresh to order here.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
That's why I love this place.
So we could be easy vegan, easy vegetarian.
Gluten?
Gluten-free.
Yeah.
Gluten-free.
Almost every one of our dishes can be manipulated that way.
I love it.
I hate when I go to a restaurant and I don't want an ingredient on a burger or on a sandwich or a salad.
And they won't do it.
And they won't do it. It's like, oh, it's made that way. I'm like, okay, it's fresh though, right? Like, yeah, but the chef won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. We'll tell you about that later.
Means the chef didn't do it, and he's not going to do it now. What is your favorite dishes here, guys?
I like the shrimp dishes. We have a ribeye steak. I like the ribeye. What's the new dish called? I don't even know the name of it. The big thick pasta and brisket, braised brisket,
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Cherry.
cherry,
Yeah.
with an orange cream sauce.
Melinda, what about you?
I like them all.
Yeah.
Because I'm a picker, I'm a grazer. So my favorite thing here would be, can you put a little of that and a little of that and a little of that on a plate? And it's just,
Do you find a lot of people ordering and just sharing a lot of stuff
We do.
here?
We do.
Right, because there's
We
such
do.
a nice selection.
And one of
on
the things we
menu.
just started doing recently are dishes for two.
Yeah.
Like a surf
Right.
and turf for two.
And you
or-
do a prefix
Yep.
menu too. It's like a
We
3-course
do.
for $32.95.
That's right. Sunday through Thursday, 3
But
to
you're closed
7.
on Tuesday,
We're
so
closed
don't
on
come on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But in October.
October 1st
Yeah.
through October and part of November, we'll be open every day.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's great, because you have people banging on the door to get in here today.
We were
You saw
here.
it.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. We're filming on a Tuesday and 4 people try to come in and eat dinner, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
It's a testament
Yeah.
to your food and how amazing it is and your
Thank you.
clientele
Appreciate
that's
that.
loyal to you. I love it.
Yeah.
And you do a happy hour
We
every
do.
Monday through Friday,
Monday through Friday, 3 to 7.
3 to 7,
it over-
$5 cocktails and wines. You
That's
want to
right.
tell us a little bit about that?
$5 all well drinks, any well drink you can make. And one of the things we try to encourage people is to create your own well drinks. I mean, we've got everything from rum to tequila, tequila gold, white, spiced rum, coconut rum. There's so many things that you can make with house liquor, juices, jazz it up whatever way you want. So those are all $5. Mexican and Moscow mules, always $5 during happy hour. And we've also got Stella, which is $6 during happy hour, and small plates.
Right, $6 for small plates.
That's right, smaller versions of what you just had.
And I have right here you have a whole list of specialty cocktails.
That's right.
Of what people wanted when they came in. You were telling me about some of them, the history of some
That's
of them. Right here I have the Headless Horseman,
Right.
which it certainly looks bloody. Can you tell us what's in this? It's beautiful. I had to save it for the filming of it. It's beautiful. What's in this?
So that's one of our seasonals, and our cocktails change with the seasons. So right now we're in our fall. So that's the Headless Horseman, and that's creme de cassis, or we could use Chambord if you want to spice it up a little. It's got pineapple juice and champagne, and it's rimmed with raspberry.
It really looks like blood.
It
Yeah.
is
That's
really
so-
cool.
yeah.
I love it.
That's going to be great for Halloween.
It's great for Halloween.
Yeah.
The Headless Horseman is perfect. When I ordered it, I didn't think it was going to come out looking like that. And when you handed it to me, I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to sip it yet. It's so cool.
Unadulterated.
Unadulterated, exactly.
Wow. You know what's funny is working with Liz over the last couple of months, like you find things that are weird about your partner, and one of them is every week she'll have something weird to throw at me, like the word, we're going to this place, it's great, the food is unadulterated. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking
I
Or there'll
know.
be a musician that I have no idea who they are, and then of
Exactly.
course I get, and she's always right about it though, and I have a great time, and they're fantastic, and they're talented. Working together now for 2 years, guys, what's been like the one thing that like gets on your nerves, or what's the one thing that sticks out as this slows me down, or oh, you know what, I need them to do that for me because it keeps me in check?
Everything.
Everything.
One word.
She'll give a real answer. She'll give a real answer, I bet.
Our personalities.
How so?
We are as different as we look.
Yeah.
Really?
We are as
Yeah.
different as we look, and it works well sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we want to kill each other, literally.
Yeah.
But because our styles are so different, it actually adds to what we really are, you know. I'm a lot more low-key. Sometimes. Gary's a lot more direct. I tend to, we have very different management styles, and we approach our employees very differently. There are times when I need him, and there are times when he needs me to do a certain thing. Certain things on the menu, we'll argue back and forth about it, about what we want to do. The only thing we don't argue about is the bar.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm a recovering alcoholic, so in the beginning, she tried and I tried to learn wine, craft beer. I swear I tried. It goes in one ear and out the other, and I finally just went, it's all yours. So there's no argument behind the bar.
One could say that a recovering alcoholic knows more about the bar than someone who isn't, though.
As far as I'm concerned, back then, if there was booze in it, I drank it. It just didn't,
You know what?
it didn't have to be a headless horseman.
Congratulations, by the way. How long has it been?
I haven't had a drink in over 20 years.
20 years. That's amazing.
Wow.
That's great.
Everything
Do you know
else,
how many
15.
people that I know that are like that? It's not easy.
You probably know more
Especially
that should be.
like the fact that you own a bar.
Yeah.
Temptation's there every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
No, there's no temptation.
right,
I have a choice.
Right.
If I want to drink, there's $10,000 worth of booze staring at me.
Right,
It's-
exactly.
It's not.
And I'm the opposite. I will drink everything behind that bar.
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other?
3 years?
Yeah, just about 3 years.
years?
Coming up on
Okay.
3 years.
And you just hit it off, and like, we're
That's
going
right.
to work together. This is going to be great. And it's fantastic. You both have different ways that you approach. Do you guys ever play good cop, bad cop? When,
Oh, always.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Always.
I think that's almost natural.
yeah, you
I
have
could see
to.
you both
It's
playing
almost natural.
either role.
And yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's
It
almost
goes back and forth.
Depending on what it is,
Yeah.
she will easily be the good cop and makes me be the bad cop.
Yeah.
When there's a troubled table, she runs to the back. Gary, can you? Because I'll bring humor into the situation, to deal with clients.
That voice. You're not going to mess with that voice.
No, I love his voice.
I love it too.
And I'm a really nice guy. I've been told I'm a really nice guy, and I'm a really nice guy till I'm fucking not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you fly off the handle.
And with these employees, I'll tell you once, nice. Do me a favor, don't put the glass on the bar without a coaster. Second time, I'll tell you nice. Third time, I might throw the glass at you.
So,
It's kind of like that.
so if or when,
And I'm not lying.
I'm going to bring someone. If or when Danielle pisses off a table,
Poor Danielle.
who talks to Danielle and has the conversation of, look, what could we have done differently here?
Mostly Gary.
Mostly me.
Mostly Gary.
So you're the nice one when it comes to that, and you'll chew them out?
Well, this is why I don't work a shift doing a particular job. Melinda is a bartender on Thursdays, Saturdays, Sunday. That's her shift.
Okay.
I've waited on one table in a restaurant, and that's because I had to. And I probably will in the future. But being, Melinda tends, and I say this respectfully, Melinda seems to see things kind of with blinders because she's very specific at what she looks at, and I look at the big picture.
So she could probably hone in on something and just master it.
Yes.
Really well, and
Where,
then
where,
not see.
where my job is more mastering the whole picture.
What's funny is that,
Mm.
I'll serve. There are times when I'll throw on an apron and, I'll be a server. And people will ask me where my boss is. And I'll bring Gary.
And my joke with the
Yeah.
customer is, if you have a compliment, tell me, and if you have a complaint, tell her.
That's great.
So.
I really like the chemistry you guys have here. Like, it
Well,
really...
when it works extremely well,
Yeah.
and when it don't, it don't.
Right.
My thing is, the more knowledge I have, the better I can do my job. You know?
Well, yeah, it's all about communication.
And communication.
That's exactly what it is. Every relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a personal relationship, or a co-host, it's about communication, right, Frank?
But sometimes
Unadulterated.
Yeah.
Unadulterated communication.
And in this, in the restaurant business, things move really fast.
Oh, yeah.
You need every bit of energy you have. You can't waste your energy twice or three times on something.
Yeah.
And once that ball is rolling on a Friday night, there's no stopping it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's been Friday nights I just went in the backyard and I didn't come back.
It's so
what I mean?
hard.
It was,
It's such a hard
They
business.
call it getting in the weeds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you're in the weeds and the employees are just doing their thing and we just wait till everybody's gone.
Yeah.
And pray there's not a bad Yelp review.
Yeah, that's the other thing, the online reviews. You gotta
How are those?
really appease people because everybody looks at Yelp or online or Facebook, and if you get a bad review, you gotta like cater to them.
Oh, yeah.
In this day and age.
That's right. Everyone's
You know?
a food critic. Self-proclaimed
Everyone.
food critic.
So you gotta
We've both been
customer service.
critiqued on Yelp
Oh yeah.
In our own way.
in our own way.
Okay.
I would say we're probably at about a 90-10. 90 is a 4 or 5 star and 10% 1 star.
What's the worst review that you remember? And I'm sure it's baloney. Like, is there something that stuck out? You're like, this didn't happen. What are they talking about?
The one in the last couple of days.
Really? What was it?
Middle of August, we had dinner for 2. They ate, they paid, they loved, they left. A week later, I get a phone call. We ate at your restaurant the other night, and my husband and I got sick.
Oh yeah.
So why didn't you call me that night, next day? Whatever.
I've seen this before.
The mistake was we had put out that seared scallop dish. We were just rolling it out as a special, as an appetizer. And it caught on, so we rolled it out as a special entree. The server suggested it to the table as an appetizer, not knowing it was moved to an entree.
Okay.
They ate it, they loved it, they paid for it. And in this phone call, she says, well, we were misled by the server that it was an appetizer. They were charged $26 for it, which is the right price as an entree.
Right.
Did you eat it, man? Yeah. Was it good? Yeah. What's the problem here? But we were misled that it was a $12 dish. No problem, man.
But they paid it. They didn't bring the bill to the server and say,
Right.
I
You usually
touch-
handle that right away.
I touch every table. You know what that means?
Yes.
I go
You
to
interact.
every
Yeah.
table every night to
Yeah.
make sure, especially more towards the end of your meal,
Yeah.
because I can tell by your face that you're either having a good time or you're
Right.
not.
Right.
And I want you to leave happy. If I got to take care of your whole ticket, don't tell everybody this. I'll comp your ticket. I want you to leave happy.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So back to the lady, and now we're in a text message conversation. Could you please refund my $14? I said, absolutely. I will refund that in full.
Need
I have it in
$26.
text. No, the 14 she
14.
requested.
Okay.
Yeah.
My only wrongdoing was I forgot. Because I can't just go to the register and make a refund. I have to call the POS. Give
Yeah,
them a
you
ticket
have,
number.
it's like
'Cause
hard
I don't have the
because
card anymore.
after a week, it's.
So she did text me back, sir, I didn't get the refund. And I even said to her, ma'am, I'm totally sorry, I've been busy. I'll do it right now. I did it, I called. It took like, I don't know, 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Then she texted me back about 10 days later saying that I'm dishonorable and I'm degrading, and she put it on Yelp, that I didn't do what I said. So I sent her a picture of her text message that said, please refund my $14. And I did. And she said I was going to refund it in full, which was a $101 bill. Why would I refund
Whoa.
$101 when you came, you ate, you left happy, you were upset about what she called being
They paid
overcharged?
cash?
Huh?
They paid cash?
Well,
No, credit
no,
card.
credit card.
Credit
But
card.
what I'm saying is that they ate the food. They loved the food.
Yeah, yeah.
She was crying about the $14. I gave her the $14, you know. And
So she thought you were going to refund the entire bill.
yes. But I refunded in full, quote unquote, in full, her request of $14.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think this is what this lady does for a
People
living.
do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
People
you know-
go to places, have
Yes.
a great time.
We
Yeah.
both know
Yes.
them now. Not the woman in question, we could tell the diners that come in that they're going to be trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put a certain server on the table. We will make sure every step of the way is handled carefully, because they will find a way to leave without paying the bill.
That's just,
Yeah.
that's so not right.
The dine and dashers.
Yeah.
People do this stuff.
They
I
do.
had one at Lucy's, for Lucy's Laugh Lounge.
Yeah,
It was a Goomba Johnny show.
I was there.
She bought tickets. Were you there for this one?
I was.
No, this is the time
Oh,
before.
right
that.
before, okay.
She bought tickets. Show was sold out. I had 2 or 3 people working the door and seating people, and they came to the door. And she said, "Hold on, let me make sure I've got 2 seats together. Give me 1 second." She goes out and starts looking for the spots that are together. She comes back and the people are gone. The complaint was that nobody would seat her. They were at the bar beforehand. Nobody went up to them when you're at a busy bar. You go to the bar. You don't just stand around. And that we refused to seat them. We refused to seat them even though they bought tickets, which didn't happen. We didn't refuse. Literally, they were looking for the seats for you. There's something else, another accusation. Oh, and they said that the girl looked like she was going to cry.
Right.
No, sis, it was just really degrading. It was really unprofessional, and I realized immediately they just didn't want to go to the show.
Right.
They wanted their
left.
money back.
They wanted their money back.
They wanted a free
Right.
show.
Yeah.
Right.
And I tried to talk to the person. I was like, "This didn't happen, miss. I was there. Everyone was checked in that was supposed to be checked in. What do you mean you weren't seated? Everyone came in." I was like, "No, you're lying. This and it's just nonsense." And they just want their money back for whatever reason. They're upset about something, and they feel like they've accomplished a goal. It's like a little blue ribbon for them or something.
Well, one of the things that is challenging in our location is, and this was another Yelp review, when you walk in our door and you see 2 diners in the lower dining area, maybe 1 or 2 people at the bar, you think we're not busy. On a Friday night, Greg was playing. Upstairs was packed,
Right,
deck and upper dining room.
right.
And a woman walked in and said, "Can we have a table before?" And I believe it was Melinda that said, "I'm sorry, we can't do it." And the woman went on Yelp and said, "We were empty and we wouldn't seat them,"
Wow.
you know. And I literally, we were to the gills upstairs, you know, and they wanted to sit on the deck. And our deck is by reservation only almost. And
Right, because you only have
by
8
Wednesday,
tables up there. It's not that
Friday and
big.
Saturday is already filled.
Right.
So, you know, they came in thinking they could just walk in at 8 o'clock and sit on the deck, and you know, couldn't do it.
What's been the worst, I guess, customer story while it was actually happening here? Oh, that look was great. What's the worst thing a customer?
Excuse me, ma'am, you can leave now.
That's what you said.
And
Good
I'm
for you.
surprised that's all she said.
You know what? That's what you have to do.
What happened?
Oh gosh, this was
Two doctors from Scarsdale.
yeah, it was 2 physicians, and they wanted to let me know that they were physicians, and
Several times.
I think they ordered the most simple things. It was a pasta and risotto or something, and I don't remember what
And
the issue
little
was.
do they know they're speaking to Dr. Kearns.
Right,
Right.
and I happen to be
Not a little brown woman in an apron. Okay,
Whoa.
go ahead,
so
finish.
anyway.
And I say that respectfully.
Yeah.
That's
I know
how
you do.
that's how they viewed
That's how
her.
they
Well,
I
it's,
know.
it's the stereotype, and it is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the industry we're in, and yeah. So I don't remember what their issue was, but they had to let me know that they were Dr. So and so and Dr. So and so, and they wanted to leave. We were full. I mean, the entire restaurant was full, and it took a little bit for their meals to come out because, as we explained, our meals are made to order, and when we are full, sometimes
It
we
was
have
the
to wait a
lobster
little
thermidor.
bit.
Lobster thermidor.
Yeah, and you know, after a while, I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't hold my cool anymore, and I said, "Well, I am Dr. Kearns, and I'm one of the owners, and I'm really not sure what the issue is, but if this is not to your liking, I would, you know, politely ask you to leave."
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
he was chewing her
Oh,
out.
it was-
The wife was kind of like, just, didn't want to have anything to do with what the husband was,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, but I don't throw my career, my outside career around lightly, but that night I just had to, and it just came out, and it does.
I can't imagine anybody complaining about the food because
No, me neither.
everything we tasted tonight was
It's delicious.
absolutely A+,
Well,
delicious.
there's just some people, they they figure at one point they probably went to a restaurant, had a legitimate complaint, and the manager probably said, you don't have to pay for that, or you don't have to pay for
Yeah, they
this.
just wanna
And
get
now
over
it's
you.
part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
They go to a restaurant, and if they feel that if they complain, that man had the lobster thermidor. It's not on our menu anymore. It was one chef did it really well, another chef could. Anyway, and it was cooked outside the shell, and then when it's served, it's put back in the shell.
course, yeah.
And I forget what the guy's problem was, but it's an amazing dish, and I think he said it wasn't hot enough or something. So.
Greg, does anybody ever want to get over on you?
I was gonna go to him and ask about awful audience members.
What do you think? Anybody?
yeah.
You ever
I mean-
have like a heckler or anything like
They
that
would
that's
run on the
Yeah.
stage and try and
shouting
sing.
like, I want to
mean,
hear,
I remember.
Freebird!
Yeah, no, or like a,
I remember once I was playing at a farmer's market in New Rochelle, and I guess there's a building nearby. Maybe it's a homeless shelter or a methadone clinic or what. But
Oh, I know where this is.
they weren't happy, and I just got heckled with "You suck" the entire time. It was kind of
Wow.
it's kind of like a Primus concert where I just started talking back to him
right?
and whatnot. But I mean, it's in the restaurants and the bars, I do a lot of open mics, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of beginners that come out, and you'll
Sure.
have some diners that are just brutal,
Yeah.
like and the kids can hear,
Right.
and they're like saying, "Oh, this person sucks," or
Uh-huh.
and it can be kind of heartbreaking for young musicians starting out
Yeah.
trying to come out and do an open mic.
Yeah.
We had someone recently that commented on open night that it was crackly and
Yeah.
it was, and we get that, but that's what it is, and that's
Right.
why we do it, is
You-
because
you
you
can't
wanna
make everybody
support.
happy, number
No.
one.
No.
Right, no.
Especially with an
No.
open mic, because
No.
I've dealt with that kind of stuff with
Yeah.
comedy open mics.
Yeah.
I'll get complaints the next day. We were at the open mic last night, and it was hate speech, or it
Right.
was this, or racist, or sexist.
Right.
And I said, "Miss, you were at the comedy open mic." "Yeah, and it was terrible." I'm like, it was the comedy open mic. Think of it
Right.
like karaoke.
Yeah.
The same way, and
Exactly.
anytime anyone says anything about an open mic or comedy or anything like that, I'm like, "I'm sorry, this is what
Comedy,
it is."
anything goes.
Yes,
Comedy's
I
comedy,
fully
you
believe
know?
that.
But Greg is not really an open mic kind of guy. He's like a singer-songwriter.
No.
He's got 2 albums out that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
put out. Westchester resident. I just want to know, like, I love your 2 albums. I love them.
Thank
And there's
you.
a
Thank you very
third
much.
that you put out that's a live album at Slovenia's?
At Sylvana's in the city,
Sylvana's,
yeah.
where is that? In the city?
It's in Harlem, in
the
New
city.
York City, yeah. It
So-
was just a live concert that we recorded off the board.
And I know you work with a lot of my friends.
Yes, definitely.
All These Strangers is one of like the hits that is off of your new album, Clocks Slow Down.
Yeah, that was one
which
of
is
the
with
first
Andrew Bordeaux,
singles.
who I love.
Yeah, Andrew played violin and a little bit of guitar on the whole
I
album.
love that violin that he plays.
Came out beautifully. Yeah, he's
And
super,
who sings
super
backup?
talented.
Because you have this female backup singer that's really incredible.
Sarah Brown sings backup on this album, on the
Okay.
whole album, and we sing a duet on
Yeah.
on the last
Sarah's
song.
fantastic. She's
of
played
the
here
album.
Has
several
she?
times, yeah.
Yeah, she's coming back on October 4th
Yeah, I love it.
to the Hudson Anchor.
So tell me, what's your creative process when you are writing a song?
Well, when I write songs at home by myself on my couch, I'm retired, so I unfortunately I got to spend a lot of time home. Well, my kids at school.
And you used to be a police officer?
Yeah, I used to be a cop,
That's amazing.
and I got injured years ago. I retired 15 years ago, so
Thanks for your service anyway.
thank you. I've had a lot of time,
To reflect?
practice and
Yeah.
to sit
I
and
love your voice.
just write and play, and
Uh-huh.
so a lot of the lyrics come, from experiences in my life and from losses and from sadness.
Breakups,
Yeah,
loves,
yeah, breakups.
loves,
Yeah, and love and loss. I mean,
experiences in your life.
it's kind of funny because I wrote in one of the songs on my last album that I can't keep writing songs about breaking up because
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
know.
really had I've been in a great relationship for years now, so I haven't really had a
You guys
sad.
got to break up.
I haven't
know.
had a
Just gotta
song.
break up,
I
man.
know.
Well, if I
We'll
get
come up
into
with creative ways to end it
if
for
I
you.
have
I
a
was just
writer's
gonna-
block,
if you need another song, just break up. You'll have another song.
if I have
No,
a
but
writer's block, we
the other really
take
good
a
one that he
break.
does is like "Too Hungry for Dinner," which is great if you
Yeah.
want to, sing that, like, especially at this restaurant.
Yeah, Too
which is
Hungry.
great. "Too Hungry for Dinner."
Too Hungry was written by one of my singing and songwriting partners, Paul Griffin,
Right.
and that was one that he actually wrote at home with his young children. And one of them, I think, said that they were too hungry. They were hungry, but they were too hungry for
Too
dinner.
hungry for dinner.
So that song kind of took a life of its
like
own. And he
something
sings lead on that one on the album, which is great.
Greg, who do you think, besides yourself in this conversation, who do you think is the most talented songwriter in Westchester today?
Him.
Right?
Oh, no, taking him out of the...
There's really so many. I mean, right
Yeah.
now the hottest that I can see are Sarah Brown, Alex Cano, Dan Zlotnick has been kicking ass for a really long
Yeah.
time. He deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
There's so many. To
Paul?
be honest with you,
Paul's good, too.
yeah, Paul Griffin is great. I wish he was more involved. He's more a family guy and a teacher, but
Monica?
Sean Donovan.
Monica?
Yeah, Monica is really great. Mary Hood is doing a lot of good work. I know you guys know Matt Crossett.
Oh, yeah.
He runs Yorktown Grill. He's really
Been
talented.
playing with him up
singer
here this week coming
and
up.
songwriter. Yeah, Matt's going to be here at Hudson Anchor on October 18th with Mary Hood, actually.
It's great.
That's great.
So yeah, I mean those. And every time I hear a new songwriter, I have a new favorite songwriter from the Hudson
So
Valley.
you're just sitting there on your couch playing away. You don't like wake up in the middle of the night and have like this tune in your head or
No,
anything like that.
not so much.
No?
Yeah,
You
at
don't
all.
walk the Hudson River like Alex told us he does. He like walks up and down the Hudson
No,
River.
I
in a
do,
park.
I do, and I do kind of write lyrics later on about that. But no, most of my inspiration comes sitting on my couch, smoking a little pot, maybe, and
Okay.
play
you-
the guitar.
All right, so I'm gonna lead into your Jim Carrey song
Okay.
because the line in the Jim Carrey song is "I want to marry Jim Carrey."
Well, I mean,
Is it just because it
doesn't
rhymes?
everybody want to marry Jim Carrey?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to
mean,
know why you want to
mostly-
marry Jim Carrey.
Mostly it's because it rhymes, but
Okay, I was
I'm a
wondering.
huge fan of Jim Carrey, and he's always
By
made
the
me
way, I
laugh.
don't want to marry Jim Carrey.
I mean, we're
I
talking
know,
Jim
like-
Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. We're talking Jim
Yes,
Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Daddy.
Jim Carrey.
So many different iterations.
I want to marry Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
Well, I think what I was getting at was I want to marry someone who has the sense of humor that Jim Carrey has.
Okay.
When actually, when you look
Have you
at
met Liz Witkowski?
comedians, most comedians are pretty sad and pretty dark and pretty depressed. So honestly, probably Jim Carrey's a lot sadder than he seems on
Probably.
the outside.
He's
so
a big
it's,
artist
it's,
now,
It's
actually.
kind of a twist on the whole situation on comedians and how they're sad, but they make us happy.
Yeah.
So.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. The same thing I could have sung about Robin Williams.
Okay.
It's really the same.
It's just that Carrie married
Feeling
Carrie
like
and
Jim.
Mary rhymes.
Yeah,
so
and
it works.
Jim's been doing all this political art lately, and
Yeah.
he had this great show on Showtime last year,
Yeah.
and he's just been back in the spotlight. So when I was sitting on my couch last year, his name came to mind, and that's how he got on the album.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, I have to bring that up.
Thank you. It's fun. That seems to be a song that when I play it live, most people respond to it.
So have you been on tour? What's your future? Are you going on tour? I know this album just came out.
Yeah,
You
Greg.
still have Hudson River that was out only a year ago.
My friend Greg Connors and I went on tour in June and July for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going again up north to Vermont and Maine
Okay.
and New Hampshire in October. And then
Okay.
after that, I hope to continue. I'm going to try to make another album. Or,
Oh my God, another one?
or maybe just release songs or singles, because the medium has changed as far as releasing music. No one's really buying CDs or listening
Right.
to CDs.
Right.
So
You
maybe
gotta play
take a
to
different
really make
approach.
any money
Different
nowadays.
approach to it.
Yeah.
I like collaborating with different musicians and different producers and different recording studios. So maybe I'll try to pick a different studio for every song, a different producer and different co-writer,
Uh-huh.
and try to do a project like that.
You know, you
Next.
brought up a point, I never thought about that.
Hmm.
People don't buy CDs anymore.
No?
Not at all.
With online music.
No.
So I guess for you to make your money, you have to be playing.
Perform.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Touring.
Well, Never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
It's been that way now since, I guess, Napster.
I
Yeah.
guess,
Napster
I guess
thing.
we got to give him a raise.
which was like 2000,
Yeah.
right? 2000s. Yeah.
We are flying through, as we always do. Do you want to get into your picks? We can
Oh.
chat after that, but you want to just
Yeah.
knock those out?
Sure. My picks this week. Sure.
Picks of the week!
Picks of the week. Well, it's the Addicted to Ink is coming up this weekend.
Yes. Are you
at
going?
the Westchester County Center.
We have passes.
I know, we're going, I thought.
We do?
Are we not going?
I cannot go.
Oh, why?
I cannot, but I
You're
hope.
so busy?
Yes.
Of course
I
you
hope you
are.
go. I hope Andrew goes.
Yeah. So,
Get a tattoo.
You got ink, Andrew?
that starts
You got no ink?
on September 27th to
Gotta
the
get it.
29th at the Westchester County Center in White Plains. Again, it's hundreds of tattooed artists, piercers, and vendors, and there's that the annual Miss Inked New York pageant that is going to be co-hosted by Lux Suicide, who was on our
Yes.
show a few weeks back.
She was fantastic.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out. That's going to be a kind of interesting show there. My other pick is on Saturday, September 28th. There's this denim party with at the Coliseum with my friend Charlie Latrovin. That's in White Plains. It starts at 8 o'clock. We're all denim. It's one of the Tia Maria
The Tia
Montanini.
Maria, right?
Yeah, it's one of her events. It's going to be great. And then on Sunday, September 29th, there is the Westchester County Car Show at Glen Island Park in New Rochelle. And I love cars. I love car
Nice.
shows. So I thought that'd be fun. And then everything else is like, all the music is always on the calendar on outinwestchester.com. Just check that out. But those are my big three picks.
I got a couple if I can throw them out there.
I have always.
Dave Landau from Comedy Central and the Anthony Cumia Show is going to be headlining at Lucy's Laugh Lounge on September 28th.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. He's very funny, very nice guy. And then Friday, September 27th and Saturday, December 28th, Jeremy Piven will be at the
Yes.
White Plains Comedy Club.
Yes.
The following week, Judy Gold will be at the White Plains Comedy Club
Yeah.
on October 4th.
Yeah. Get your tickets.
Yeah,
tickets.
get them. They're flying.
Yeah.
WhitePlainsComedy.com and Lucy'sLaughs.com.
Absolutely. Greg, what was your first concert? Do you remember? What did you go see?
Yeah, I must have been 8 years old, I think. My
No.
mom and dad took me to the Garden to see Foreigner and
Really?
and Johnny Winter, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was the Double Vision album, I think.
So was it at that point, like, what point did you think, I want to be a musician?
It was definitely probably that night.
That night?
Like I don't remember specifically, but yeah, it must have been that night.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks.
My first concert.
Yeah, do you remember?
I do and I don't. It was several concerts that were fundraisers for what used to be, I'm not sure if it still is, the Tarrytown Pop Warner football. Now it's called the Wolf Pack, I think.
Yeah.
And they used to do fundraisers with, this was early 70s, with Motown
Oh, wow.
bands,
Yeah.
the Shondells and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I think the first concert I went to kind of on my own, like what my parents probably didn't know I was at, I think was the first concert ever in the Meadowlands Stadium when it first opened. Steve Miller Band.
Uh-huh. Cool.
And there was four. I just can't think of who it was. I probably smoked too much pot that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is pot legal yet?
It is.
Not,
Was it
Is
ever
it legal?
illegal?
not in New York.
Was it ever illegal?
Is it legal? Is it legal in New York now?
It is.
Yeah.
I believe
All
it.
I know
believe
is
it
that you can't smoke a jewel anymore, right?
Well, not
That
yet.
just
Flavor,
passed.
or they
Oh.
can't sell them.
They can't sell
I
jewels?
think they can't sell them.
It's not officially passed yet, but just about. Just about.
Just trying to
I-
control
I
us even
I
more.
believe the smoking of marijuana is legal. Did you?
It's
tell me
Two,
that on
ounce, 2
Facebook?
ounces.
That's possession.
2 ounces is
You ain't smoking
possession.
2
Only
ounces
two
at a
ounces?
time.
It was
Up to.
decriminalized.
Decriminalized.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So is it legal yet or no? It's not
No.
legal yet. No, not at all. Not yet.
Not recreationally.
Right.
It's like a speeding
Only
ticket
if
now.
you have like cancer or there's
Medical.
something that you
Right.
Yeah.
Medicinal.
medicinal
Medicinal.
need for it. Okay. It'll pass eventually because California has it.
It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna pass all
Well,
across
one
the
of the
U.S. I
things
think.
we spoke about a couple of months ago is, and I saw a thing on the news last night, is the infusion of the THC into draft beer.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new pizza
It's
parlor
CBD.
somewhere in the
It's
city.
like the CBD stuff. It's
not
not
THC.
THC. It's
It's
CBD.
Or whatever it is,
Well, yeah.
is
Yeah.
is now infused in pizza
Everything.
and everything.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
Yes.
CBD, but there's no THC in it. We
Right.
learned
Right.
this because we
Right.
did our podcast
At Bedford Hills and Wine, Beer and Wine,
Beer and Wine
Yes,
Bar. Beer and
Bedford.
Wine Bar.
Beer and Wine Bar.
Beer and Wine Bar.
Yeah.
Really, they're connected to a candle and CBD oil
CBD
store.
Live Natural.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, which I've heard commercials on, and she gave me a bottle, and I love it. I've been
Oh.
sleeping through the night with it.
Really?
Yeah, there's no high to it. You just get the benefits
Calming effect.
of
Yeah, CBD
the calming of it.
can help some people,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's even coffee that you can get with it. Everything's getting infused with CBD, so you might
Yeah.
want to look into that. Into
That's a
some
waste
of
of
your,
coffee.
You might want to look into that into some of your
It's
unadulterated
coming.
fruits.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
I know Melinda was talking
It's
about one of the
coming.
beers
And,
that.
yeah, and I can't wait for the beers to be legalized with it in New York. Yeah, can't wait. It's coming though. The CBD cocktails
Absolutely.
are coming.
Absolutely.
They have it at the coffee shop, Coffee Labs on Main
Oh, yeah.
Street.
Tarrytown,
They make
right.
Heard about
lattes
that.
infused with CBDs now, so you can get one over there.
Right,
from-
that's what I was bringing up.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Thank you again, Hudson Anchor, 222 Beekman Avenue, Sleepy Hollow, New York. Melinda Kearns and Gary Serina, thank you so much for
Thank you,
hosting us
guys.
and joining
Our
us.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank-
Our
much.
pleasure.
HudsonAnchorSeafood.com, incredible food.
Incredible.
At Hudson Anchor online. Thank you, Greg Jacquin. Said it right
Thank
this
you.
time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Check out his music at Greg Jacquin. I almost did it again. GregJacquinMusic.com. Get his
Perfect.
album, Clock Slow Down, on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and get out to a show. He's going to be right here at Hudson Anchor on September 27th in Sleepy Hollow. September 28th, Dudley's in New Rochelle. October 17th, the Green Growler in Croton. But all his dates, you can check him out online. Liz, thank you so much. Any parting words from you, Liz?
No,
No.
just check out outwashers.com. Thank you so
Yes.
much, everybody.
Thank
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys for being here.
Thanks so much.
Well, that was different.
Oh, yeah.